Hello gamers, I'm Kim from ThatMomentIn.com. Welcome to Game Warp. Up next, our review of 3/4 Home. 3/4 Home is an interactive visual novel developed by Bracket Games. It tells the story of Kelly, a college student who has returned home to regain her footing. The story starts as she drives home from her grandparents' old farm where she needed to get away to think. On the way back, a rainstorm quickly escalates into a frightening tornado signal. Through her conversation with her mom, dad, and her brother, we learn about what happened to her that caused her to return home, as well as the relationships and dynamics between her and each member of the family, and their struggles while she was away. 3/4 Home is a simple game in many ways. In terms of gameplay, we have the interactive storyline options to choose where the conversation goes. We can also toggle the radio on and off for silence and background music or ambiance, such as the rain sounds outside. All of this happens while pressing the right trigger to take Kelly home as her car moves forward through a changing landscape. Visual novels are meant to tell a story, and rarely do they take this third-person view of the adventure as we watch the car drive through the scene. However, the phone call aspect from the family allows the conversation to flow smoothly while keeping it truly simple, like watching a moving picture. Kelly can take multiple paths according to how the player would like to progress. The answers usually vary from dismissive to annoyance to compassionate attitudes. All this helps guide Kelly into answering more honest or staying behind a metaphorical wall. Still, this all depends on what the player chooses to portray Kelly as in the story they are experiencing and what or how they feel. Visually, 3/4 Home takes a minimalistic art style, which carries only black and white tones. As the car presses forward, the moving pictures fade behind and a new scenery appears. These scenes emphasize on the small-town countryside setting, which represents Nebraska, with cornfields and wind farms spaced with vast emptiness in between. It creates a sense of isolation, especially when we, as the players, have no idea how far home actually is. As Kelly drives deeper into the storm, there is also a growing emphasis on the darkness creeping in, which increases the level of urgency, especially as Kelly's family, through the conversation, also emits a sense of worry. However, the themes in the conversation also changes to more grim topics in parallel to what is happening outside through subtle changes. Apart from the main story, 3/4 Home also has an epilogue portion. There are speculations of the timeline as to when this specific scene starts. However, it is structured similarly to the main story. Except in this case, Kelly is waiting for a bus, and we can control her to keep walking as the background fades in and out to some rather mysterious scenes. This is solely a conversation between her and her mother. What starts off as a casual conversation fills in with some of the holes that may have been left unanswered in the previous sequence. This short story visual novel piece takes about an hour to complete. For what it is, it never feels like it is dragging on. There are moments such as her parents' situation which seems slightly more textbook. However, the best parts are her interaction with her younger brother. One part in particular builds into a rather long sequence. While it doesn't feel like it drags on, and it seems that there should be a deeper purpose behind it, it never seems to amount to what it intends. The length of the story is suitable for its linear structure, but somehow, in our pampered world of Telltale games and other choice-based titles, it is hard to not expect it to have some other way to end, and yet, it seems like no matter how we approach a situation, the reactions may differ, but the ending will always be the same. In one way, it does feel like Kelly is in a hopeless situation that doesn't quite have the resolution, and in other ways, maybe it is trying to reach a deeper understanding of the importance of communication and distance in human interaction. Overall, 3/4 Home may be simple, but it packs a minimalistically appealing environment that communicates the story of Kelly and her family through a drawn-out conversation. The short story format helps the story to never overstay its welcome by keeping the conversation moving between characters and flowing through topics effectively. However, certain parts still feel like it falls short of its potential. Everyone is important, and the emphasis on the communication and distance takes the front seat, along with a few extra messages hidden between the lines. Our score is 3.5 stars. For more gaming reviews, head over to thatmomentin.com. And to catch gaming news and updates every single day, like us on Facebook, where you will also find our latest podcast episode.